Hi, I made this funny infographic cartoon on discrimination against childless and gays financially. Now you can pause this if you want to read it on your own, or you can just follow along with me as I go through each point. So we'll start up here. How are childless and gays discriminated? Well, number one, the public school system. We have to pay school taxes, thousands and thousands of dollars per year. Meanwhile, we don't benefit at all. Parents get over $150,000 value per kid, K through 12. Yeah, buses, facilities, staff, and much more. And many schools offer free lunch and breakfast for all students regardless of income now. Meanwhile, I often don't eat lunch because I can't afford to unless if I bring something from home. But I can afford to pay for their lunch. At least some of it is meatless Mondays, which is nice and healthy. But meanwhile, people are losing their homes or barely can afford their school taxes. Like this person, similar to my situation. They had to raise their rent and they're paying for their college loan while paying for other people's kids' schools. When I was 25 years old, I'm paying my taxes, my property taxes, as well as paying for my college loan. So I'm paying for schools twice. Next, the guy goes, can I opt out of paying socialist public school taxes? At least Obamacare gave us something. So the people who oppose universal health care, why aren't they opposing socialist public schools? Or at least allowing childless people to opt out? And this guy driving by in a car goes, get a job, socialist welfare queen. Well, he has 3 kids in the back. Yeah, hypocrites, much. So let's go on. Let's talk about the workplace. Healthcare, family plans. Me and my wife, I do private contracting work on the side. So my wife was going to put me on her healthcare plan, but it was an absurd amount. That's just a hypothetical number, but it was an absurd amount because we are subsidizing those with many kids. And even if you only have 1 kid, you're still subsidizing people with many more. Yes. And the guy goes, you are not welcome. And they say with their mega hats, we never thanked you, while wearing a cross and pregnant again. They acted like, oh, hard work pays off. We did it for society, like overpopulating is a charity. And God. Birth control is a sin, but stealing from others and ignoring it is not by our interpretations. Overpopulation? Nah, God determines when we had enough. So it costs thousands and thousands of dollars just to have a kid give birth to a kid. So how is it that there's not a user fee like the libertarian approach? There should be user fee. You pay more per child. Maybe get a slightly reduced rate, but pretty much the same. It's ridiculous. It's subsidized by people with none or only 1 kid, 1 and done. So, yes, they are overpopulating humans, the cruel invasive species, says all other animal species. And Mother Earth says, please just stop overpopulating, that is. And that's an important website with a lot of scary statistics. Deforestation, endangered species, factory farms, look them up, they're sick. Fish farms due to overfishing, deforestation, and landfills and ocean covered with plastic and much more. Overpopulation is a crisis. How else at the workplace? So we talked about the healthcare, family healthcare plans. Now let's talk about paid paternity leave that both parties are pushing for. This person goes, baby number 3 on the way. Is they're pregnant? No, congratulations. Congrats on having sex, I guess, because they're too busy doing her work. Yes, more work for us while she is gone, but they make the same pay. And obviously childless people never get their turn. So paid paternity leave only benefits breeders. People who have a bunch of kids. Even those with one kid are probably going to pick up the slack for people who are out a lot. And if I were an employer, I would just not hire someone who I thought was going to have a bunch of kids. So they're going to result in themselves possibly being discriminated. So how else are parents benefiting on the backs of childless? Well, here we go. Mike Pence. Yes, very religious guy. Oh, okay, here we go. We have a ton of kids in the foster care system, nearly 500,000. And here's a bunch of kids saying, help us, adopt us, adopt us. No one wants 3-year-olds and up. Tons of kids and teenagers need homes. He says, no, you're already born. You're not an embryo. And then as he walks into the IVF clinic, yes, he paid tens of thousands of dollars for IVF against his God's will. Rather than adopt, he goes, I have special DNA. It's God's will. I found this place that has the science to do it. And I'm pro-life, not BC or birth control, or PC. I'm not for BC or PC. Meanwhile, he calls them unborn children when they're really unformed fetuses, pea-sized in many cases, or most cases. So Mike Pence, aka Cotton Hill, the biggest hypocrite, going against his God's will, spending tons of money on IVF when there's 500,000 kids and teenagers in the foster care system. Yes, he's a pro-birth fake religious nut. And meanwhile, he's against Planned Parenthood, when I think free birth control should be available to all, as it saves taxpayers tons of money and actually lowers termination rates. But religion and logic don't go. Make birth control free for all. So let's move on down and continue it on religion. Marriage equality. Some people want to do it so that they have a power of attorney for their significant other, or they want it for inheritances. There's many reasons to want financial reasons for marriage too. So the gay couple goes, but we pay taxes and they don't. So why is the church getting preference over us? We're the ones paying taxes and funding other people's breeding, like the anti-birth control religious nuts. Yes, gays are paying you welfare in many forms, and they are actually the ones most likely to adopt. So, yeah, some hypocrisy here. And then a straight couple like me and my wife who says, let's live within our means and not overpopulate and save for our future. And the breeders say, selfish jerks. No, pay us now. That's basically what they're saying. Yep, that's what happens. And they don't even thank you for it and they don't even know about it in many cases. They take it for granted, all the money we pay them. And when they do know or are made aware, they ignore it. Yup, legal robbery. How else are childless people ripped off? Well, child tax credits, huge child tax credits. They go to H&R Block and get a tax refund. What do they do with the tax refund? They buy bigger screen TVs, down payment on a nice car, go on vacation. I've heard it all. So this Beats by Dre headphones is $300, but it's free for childless. Or for people with children, because they can buy dozens of them with their child tax credits and other write-offs like daycare. Or the down payment on their new Lexus. When you are driving a Honda, they are buying a Lexus with your money. Yes, it's basically redistribution of wealth. You're paying for people who have more than you in many cases. And this other person goes, when they collect their tax refund, let's go to Disney and get an iPhone while you have a cheap, outdated phone. And the poor sap, single and childless, most vulnerable, says, I have a job as they drive by. Get a job, loser, in a Lexus that he paid for. I have to pay more rather than get a tax refund? My pockets are already empty as they're inside out, and he's carrying his belongings in a little handkerchief after he's been hung upside down and dried out to pay for other parents and breeders. So, yeah, he's paying more in taxes while they're getting tax refunds. How else this one single vulnerable guy with only one income gets laid off his job? Well, he paid the most in taxes, so now is his time to collect. Nope. He's last on the list for any benefits, despite paying the most for many years. He's actually has long hair and a long beard because he's been waiting so long because people with children butt him in line for any services or benefits. Waiting list, he was there number one in line, but he got bumped down to number 1,000, where someone with 5 kids got immediate help. So, the waiting list, there you go. These are just some of the ways childless people are robbed and discriminated against financially. We need to make birth control free for all. It saves taxpayers tons of money, especially when 500,000 kids and teenagers are in the foster care system. Free and easy to adopt if they actually tried. Fake pro-birthers, like a vegan, not adopting their pet. So there you have it. Religious nuts, conservatives stealing from childless as well. Socialist public schools, they take for granted, no thank yous, while denying us health care and while making us pay for socialist public schools. Last to get any welfare at the welfare office. Single and homeless, any help? Nope. This is actually true in many cases. Worked in social work for a while, fields. And then we want food stamps and housing, and they have a bunch of kids with iPhones and stuff. They get it. So, again, here's just some of the ways that childless are discriminated. And breeders don't care. They don't even think about it because they are the beneficiary of the patriarchy of robbing us. And if they choose to ignore this once made aware, they are nothing more than thieves. Use your child tax credit, donate it to Planned Parenthood, donate it to foster care group for adoption, donate it to singles or childless people who are threatened to lose their job or homeless, to a homeless shelter. But if you collect it, you are nothing more than a thief. Thank you. Socialism is real, and both parties love it. Try libertarian. Thank you.